Imagine waking up in a world without coffee. No morning cappuccino, no espresso shots, no coffee shops on every corner. Today, coffee is one of the most popular beverages on Earth, enjoyed by billions of people every day. It fuels busy mornings, inspires conversations, and powers entire industries. But have you ever wondered where coffee came from? How did a simple bean become a global obsession? The story of coffee is filled with legends, trade routes, empires, smugglers, and revolutions. It is a journey that spans centuries and continents. This is the incredible history of coffee. Our story begins more than 1,000 years ago in the highlands of Ethiopia. According to legend, a young goat herder named Kaldi noticed something unusual about his goats. After eating bright red berries from a certain shrub, the animals became energetic and restless. They danced around instead of sleeping. Curious, Kaldi tried the berries himself and experienced a burst of energy. He shared his discovery with local monks. At first, the monks were skeptical. Some stories claim they threw the berries into a fire. As the beans roasted, a rich aroma filled the air. The roasted beans were then mixed with hot water, creating what may have been the first cup of coffee. Although historians cannot confirm whether Kaldi actually existed, the legend remains one of the most famous stories in coffee history. What is certain is that coffee originated in Ethiopia, where wild coffee plants still grow today. By the 15th century, coffee had crossed the Red Sea into Yemen. It was here that coffee cultivation began on a large scale. The people of Yemen discovered that roasting and brewing coffee beans produced a delicious and stimulating drink. Soon, coffee became popular throughout the Islamic world. Cities such as Mecca, Cairo, Damascus, and Istanbul embraced the beverage. Coffee houses began appearing everywhere, known as schools of the wise. These establishments became centers of learning, discussion, business, and entertainment. People gathered to exchange ideas, listen to music, play games, and discuss politics. In many ways, these early coffee houses were the social networks of their time. Coffee was no longer just a drink. It had become a cultural phenomenon. As trade routes expanded, coffee eventually reached Europe during the 17th century. At first, some Europeans viewed the strange black drink with suspicion. Critics even called it the bitter invention of Satan. According to popular accounts, the controversy became so intense that religious leaders were asked to decide whether coffee should be banned. After tasting it, the Pope reportedly approved the beverage. Whether the story is completely true or not, coffee quickly gained popularity. Coffee houses opened across Europe. In London alone, hundreds of coffee houses appeared within a few decades. These establishments attracted merchants, scientists, writers, and politicians. People exchanged ideas, debated current events, and discussed new discoveries. Some historians believe coffee houses played a major role in the intellectual movements that shaped the modern world. As demand increased, European powers sought ways to grow coffee in their colonies. For years, the Arab world carefully protected coffee plants and seeds. However, smugglers eventually succeeded in transporting coffee plants to other regions. The Dutch introduced coffee cultivation to Southeast Asia. The French carried coffee plants to the Caribbean. The Portuguese brought coffee to Brazil. Brazil's climate proved ideal for coffee production. Over time, Brazil became the world's largest coffee producer, a position it still holds today. Coffee transformed global trade. Entire economies began depending on coffee exports. Millions of people found employment through farming, transportation, roasting, and retail businesses connected to coffee. The Industrial Revolution accelerated coffee's popularity. Factories needed workers who could stay alert for long hours. Coffee became the perfect beverage for an increasingly industrialized world. In the 20th century, instant coffee made preparation easier than ever. Then came specialty coffee. Espresso machines, cappuccinos, lattes, and gourmet coffee blends transformed coffee into an experience rather than just a drink. Coffee chains expanded around the world. Today, coffee is enjoyed in countless forms. From traditional Ethiopian ceremonies to modern urban cafes, coffee continues to bring people together. Each culture has developed its own unique way of preparing and enjoying it. From the mountains of Ethiopia to cafes in nearly every city on Earth, coffee has traveled an extraordinary path. It survived centuries of change, crossed oceans, fueled trade empires, inspired intellectual movements, and became part of daily life for billions of people. What began as a mysterious berry discovered in the wilderness evolved into one of the world's most beloved beverages. Every cup of coffee tells a story of exploration, a story of culture, a story of human connection. So the next time you take a sip of coffee, remember that you're tasting a piece of history that has traveled across continents and through centuries to reach your hands. And perhaps that simple cup contains more history than you ever imagined. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more fascinating stories from history.